This is Music News and Mix, your weekly show. This is Music News and Mix, your weekly show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive this week into electronic music.
Yeah.
As always, we're looking at Music News Mix, this time episode 2 from April 3rd, 2025.
Okay.
And, I always like to look at a few different things, industry news, technology events, releases, just to kind of get a feel for what's happening out there in the world of electronic music. And I think this week's episode is a good example of kind of a little bit of a mix of some somber news with some really exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can't avoid the elephant in the room right from the get-go.
Yeah.
The passing of Joe Dale, co-founder of Chicago's legendary Gramaphone Records.
Yeah.
A real pivotal figure in the Chicago house and techno scenes. He sadly passed away on March 26th at the age of 75.
Yeah, it's always tough to lose, somebody who was so influential, and like you said, Gramaphone, it was founded in 1969.
Yeah.
It didn't really become this electronic music, mecca until the early 80s, but, to last that long and to be so influential in, shaping the sound of a city and really, Chicago house, has been an influence all over the world.
Right.
It's just such a shame to lose somebody like that.
Absolutely. And, Gramaphone is still going strong today, which is testament to, his work and his legacy.
Absolutely. So, kind of on the brighter side of things, we've got some new technology that's come out. Output just released this really interesting plugin called Co-Producer.
Interesting.
And it's an AI-powered, plugin. And what it does is it analyzes your track that you're working on and then suggests samples based on what it's hearing.
Wow.
And so, it analyzes it for, rhythmic patterns, harmonic structures, all that stuff, and compares it to like a vast sound library that they have and comes up with, samples that it thinks might fit with what you're working on.
I mean, that's got to be a huge time saver, right? For a lot of people, like just in terms of workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it can be a real tool for sparking creativity too. It's like, it's like having another, pair of ears or, somebody to bounce ideas off of, but it's AI.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see, how this develops.
Definitely. And I guess this leads to a bigger question about, what does it mean to be a producer in this new era of AI?
Yeah.
Are we just kind of curators, or are we still the creative forces behind the music?
Yeah, and I think that's something that's going to be debated for a long time to come, you know?
For sure.
So let's move on from AI for a second and talk about some hardware.
Okay.
Behringer.
Yep.
They came out with a new series of synths called the DeepMind X series.
Nice.
And they're kind of interesting because they take a lot of their design cues from classic Roland synthesizers, particularly the Juno series.
Yeah, so we're talking about those warm analog sounds, right? Like the classic Juno sound that so many producers still chase after.
Absolutely. And so it's kind of cool to see them, kind of bringing back this vintage aesthetic with modern technology.
Yeah, I can see a lot of producers getting excited about that.
For sure. So moving on to events.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland Brazil, COM25, just announced their theme.
Okay.
It's going to be called Life.
Life?
And it's actually like a prequel to their 2016 theme, which was Elixir of Life.
Oh.
So they're bringing that back. It's going to be happening in October in São Paulo.
Awesome.
And, Tomorrowland always, they go all out with their events. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty spectacular.
Their production is next level.
And then Ultra Europe just released the aftermovie from their 10th anniversary, which happened last year in Croatia.
10 years? That's crazy.
I know.
How time flies.
I know, right? It feels like just yesterday we were talking about the first Ultra Europe. But yeah, it looks like it was an amazing event. It's always cool to see these giant festivals, with hundreds of thousands of people coming together to celebrate electronic music.
Absolutely. There's just an energy there you can't get anywhere else.
Absolutely. So just a couple of quick industry news items. Spotify's CEO, Daniel Ek, just sold a bunch more of his shares in the company.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means. I'm not a financial analyst or anything, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, there's always speculation when something like that happens.
Right.
Could be nothing. Could be something bigger. I'll have to wait and see. And then Apple just launched something called DJ with Apple Music during Miami Music Week. And so, it seems like they're kind of making a bigger play into the DJ ecosystem, which is interesting.
Yeah, that could be a game changer.
Yeah. So let's move on to rave culture.
Okay.
Teksupport is throwing 14 rooftop raves in Brooklyn this summer.
Wow, 13.
I know.
That's a lot. Right, and they're going to have, all sorts of top-tier electronic music artists performing.
Nice.
And then Jamie Jones is launching his first Paradise UK Outdoor Festival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's bringing those Ibiza vibes to the UK.
Classa.
So, it's clear that the demand for electronic music events, whether they're intimate rooftop raves or massive festivals, is still very strong.
Definitely.
And, going back to the AI conversation for a second,
okay,
it's not just about Output's co-producer anymore. There's more and more tools coming out all the time for sound generation, for pattern suggestion.
Right.
And it really makes you wonder, what is the future of creativity and technology in music?
Yeah, I mean, how much is going to be AI driven and how much is still going to be like human expression?
Exactly.
That's a really interesting question.
And then finally, just a quick little tidbit. Calvin Harris has been hinting at a possible third Funkwave Bounces album on social media.
Oh, really?
So fans are getting pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and those first two albums were huge.
Absolutely. So let's wrap things up with some new music.
Cool.
DJDTIME just dropped a triple release.
Wow.
I know, right? So we've got Let Me Go, But Hold Me Forever, which is like a euphoric Euro house track.
Nice.
And then, wait. Is This Being Filmed?
Yeah.
Which is a tech house track with some like tribal grooves.
Right.
And then Endless Summer Extended Mix, which is an upbeat, deep, chill house track with some tropical sax and like ethereal vocals.
So they're covering a lot of ground stylistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's interesting.
And they've already got videos out for all three tracks, so you can check those out online.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty diverse offering there.
For sure.
So there you have it, folks. Another week, another deep dive into electronic music.
Another week.
I think there's a lot to be excited about. We've got new technology that's changing the way we make music.
Right.
We've got massive events that are bringing people together from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we've got fresh new sounds coming out all the time. So, think about how those AI tools might continue to shape music creation.
Yeah.
And what does the ongoing popularity of these massive festivals tell us about our need for collective experiences?
That's a good question. Now, the big news this week is the launch of their community spotlight. This is where you, our listeners, come in. It's your chance to be a part of the show. What's got them so excited?
Well, they're really opening the doors wide here. They want to hear about new music releases. Like if you just dropped a track you're proud of or discovered a new artist that's blowing your mind, share it.
Yeah, and it's not just about the music itself. What's the word on festival news?
Yeah, absolutely. They want to hear about any upcoming festivals, big or small, doesn't matter. Also, local scene updates, like what's happening in your city or country's electronic music scene. Are there any cool underground nights happening? Are there any up-and-coming DJs people should know about?
Oh, speaking of which, they're also really interested in those hidden gems, the underground artists who deserve more ears. It's a chance to shine a light on some truly innovative sounds.
Right. And just to mix things up, they're even asking for weird or funny electronic music stories. Who knows what kind of wild tales people have out there? I'm ready for a good laugh.
Okay, so if our listeners have got news, a release, a local update, a hidden gem, or even a funny story, how can they share it with the show?
Simple, just hit them up via DM or email. All the specifics on where to send your contributions are going to be in the show notes or on their socials, so make sure you check those out.
And what about the payoff for getting involved?
Well, if they choose your submission, you'll get a shout out on the show itself and credit in the episode notes. It's a great way to connect with other music lovers and get your name out there.
Fantastic. Now on to some tunes. Music News and Mix dropped some hints about some fresh tracks. They specifically shouted out new videos from DJDTIME.
Visuals are such a powerful element in electronic music. New videos from DJDTIME that definitely piques my interest.
For sure. And for those who haven't jumped on the DJDTIME train yet, they've got you covered. The briefing encourages everyone to explore countless other artists on platforms like Spotify, YouTube Music, Beatport, and Audiomack.
So many options. You know, Beatport's always been a haven for DJs and producers looking for the latest underground bangers, while AudioMac has a great selection of independent artists.
Love that. So wrapping up our deep dive into music news and mix this week, the big takeaways for you are those ongoing developments in the industry, the new tools coming out that'll shape the future of music making, and most importantly, your chance to shape the show with the community spotlight.
Think about the music that's exciting you right now.
Oh.
Have you discovered any hidden gems? What's happening in your local scene? This is your chance to spread the word.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So head over to their show notes or socials to find out how to submit your news, releases, and stories. So what do you think? What kind of news in the electronic music world would totally blow your mind right now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, this is a conversation we all need to be having.
Absolutely. So that's it for this deep dive. Hopefully you're feeling informed and ready for the weekend. Remember to check out DJDTIME's new music when it drops.
And keep your eyes peeled for any big news.
Music News and Mix is back every Thursday with more updates. Until then, enjoy the music.
I said goodbye, but I didn't mean it. You walked away, but you're still in beat. Let me go, but hold me forever. We're not here, but we're together.